Hey guys, a few weeks ago I put out a video on some red dot adapter plates from this company here, ohhunt. Well, they reached out to me again and asked me if I would actually take a look at one of their red dots. And these are very budget friendly and you get a lot of really nice features for that price. But I figured we'll do a real quick unboxing. We'll go over all the details and specifications of it. I'll get it mounted to something, go to the range and actually test it out, and then give some thoughts on it. So what they have sent is the RDU2. Show you the package here. So here are some of the features. It has a 3 MOA dot. It looks like at the highest setting, the battery will last about 2,000 hours. On the lowest setting, about 30,000 hours. It has auto off. Basically after 2 minutes, it will power itself down. And then with any type of movement or motion, it wakes itself right back up. So that's the shake awake or auto on technology. It's CNC aluminum, 6061 T6, IPX67 waterproof rating, shockproof up to 1,000 Gs. It looks like there are 10 levels of brightness, 8 levels that you can see in the 2 night vision. And this one is for an RMR footprint. And there is the rest of the box. This does come from Amazon, and I'll leave a link down in the description for that. Let me get this thing popped open here. All right, so that just slides out. Has their branding on the box, which again, I always do appreciate that when a company does it. Got some padding. There's some more information. We'll probably go over some of this stuff throughout the video. Looks like a user manual. It just talks about mounting it, how to use it, how to zero it in. Okay, looks like a lens cleaning cloth. What we have here, a tool. Sometimes this can be for sighting in, sometimes it's for the battery compartment, but there's a tool, we'll figure that out. Another like Allen key, that's a screwdriver on that end. A screwdriver on that end. There is a battery. It's a different size. What is that? A 1632? And it looks like the sight itself, which has a cover on it. Let's take a look at the cover. No branding on it. It's a little bit on the thin side. But it does fully cover everything. Just going to do some close-ups here before I kind of get into all the details. Just kind of looking at the anodization, looking at the adhesive on the lens there. Seeing if there's any type of real noticeable imperfections or anything. I will say there is a little bit of adhesive right up there in that corner that's kind of seeped through just a little bit, but nothing too bad at all. So this does have a top load battery door, which is always nice. You don't have to remove the sight to change out the battery. I will say that it is a slightly different color than what the rest of the red dot is. You can see it's almost like a light black or dark gray almost, whereas this is definitely black. I do like how, again, they have their branding or logo on the red dot. The glass on here seems to be really well protected. It's set back far enough, and the shroud is fairly thick and full coverage. So you shouldn't have to worry about that glass breaking. Even if you were to drop your gun, it should be protected. As you can see, it has a multi-coated lens which that usually allows for a little more light transmission, makes things a little bit clearer, helps reduce glare. But let's throw a battery in. We'll check out the dot and then go over some more details. And yeah, that tool is a battery tool. So you just line that up and twist that off. And if you ever have to replace it, you can take the other end to basically pry out the battery, because it sits down in there really flush and tight. So yeah, that end pops your battery out. All right, got the battery installed. Let's see what the dot looks like. I'm going to manually turn it on and off just to show you, but once you turn it on, you never really have to turn it on or off again. But basically what we're going to do is just hit this button here, the up arrow, and that's going to turn our dot on. And then let me readjust the camera here. All right, so the dot is a 3 MOA. Most people probably can go out to 75 to 100 yards with like a pistol red dot if you have good vision. I have mediocre, and about 50 yards is about my max on a red dot. Let's see what the brightness settings look like here. I'm not sure where we're at, so I'm just going to go up through them, see how bright the dot gets. All right, I'm going to assume that that's got to be 10 then, and then we're going to come back down through and see what the lower settings look like. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. It's hard for me to even see the 2 there, and then it's supposed to be the 2 night vision. I'll have to check what this looks like out in the daylight. I'm sure that's going to be plenty bright though. I have astigmatism in both eyes, and sometimes these red dots will look like they're almost like starburst patterns or halos and like artifacts coming off of them. This one actually looks pretty clean and crisp. And obviously if you're using a pistol red dot, the dot is not magnified at all. So as it is right now, it came with this Picatinny mount, and a lot of people are starting to run these pistol red dots on top of their rifles. They're so much smaller and lighter than like a traditional tube style red dot. So a lot of people really like these. But yeah, if your pistol has a Picatinny rail, you could mount it just like this, or obviously on top of a rifle, you could mount this. I'm going to be putting it on a pistol with an RMR plate. So I am going to remove this, then I'll get you guys some dimensions and a weight on it. And to remove the red dot from the mount, just got to take these 2 screws out here. All right, those screws are out, so this should just pop off. Some dimensions on it. It's just about, let's just say 1 3/4 inches long. And I believe it's just over 1 inch wide, and then about 1 inch tall. And a weight, the red dot by itself is just over 1 ounce, so very, very lightweight. And then with the plate and screws, 2.1 ounces, so still very lightweight. So for this video, I'm going to be mounting it to this Taurus, just so YouTube knows I'm working with a safe, empty gun, no ammo anywhere around. And by adding the red dot to the top here does not modify or alter this pistol in any way. It doesn't make it do anything different than what it was originally designed to do. All right, so I got that mounted on there. They don't provide any screws other than the 2 that was holding the mount down. And so the ones I had to use are just a little bit big, and they do cover that battery door just a little bit. So unfortunately, whenever the battery would die, I will have to remove this anyways. But if you have smaller head screws, you won't have to worry about that. I want to check out that cover while the dot is mounted to the pistol. A lot of times once it gets mounted, those covers won't stay on because they end up hitting stuff around here. So let's see what that's like. You see what I'm saying? It kind of hits different things. It doesn't go all the way down, but we'll see if it stays on. It's moving a little bit, but not horrible. And just so you guys know, those should be torqued down to around 10 inch-pounds or so. Let's go ahead and check out our windage and elevation adjustments, see if they're audible, palpable. So we're going to use that screwdriver that they included. Elevation is audible, palpable, and so is windage. So even though this does have a really short kind of rear end here, low profile, there is no notch in it. So I would not be able to co-witness anything at all with my factory sights. If you had suppressor height sights, you definitely could, but these are really low sights as it is. All right, guys, out at the range here this morning with that ohhunt red dot. I'm going to get it sighted in, probably put, I don't know, 50 to 100 rounds or so through it. Make sure there aren't any issues with the dot itself flickering or shutting off, and basically just see kind of how overall the sight holds up. Let you guys see kind of what I'm seeing here. I am not on the brightest setting yet. This is probably about 7, I believe. So there's still 2 or 3 more to go. Just want to give you guys an idea of what that dot looks like. All right, guys, just want to share some of my thoughts here on this ohhunt red dot. Just so YouTube knows, I am back to working with an empty and safe gun here. So if any of you are new to pistol red dots, kind of the purpose of them is you don't have to use 2 sights to try to line up. Instead, you basically just find the dot. And as long as you have it zeroed, the dot is going to be on your target. Whereas like with traditional sights, you have to have your notch and then your front post. And some guns, it's like where the top of this lines up with the top of the post. Some guns, it's like the bottom or the middle, and every gun can be different. When you have a dot, you literally just find that dot and that's your target. Another thing that happens is like, let's say a 9mm here, when you take a shot, there's always some amount of muzzle flip or muzzle rise just because of the recoil. And you have to get back on those sights again pretty fast if you had to take multiple shots. Whereas with a dot, let's say there is some muzzle rise, it comes right back down, and it's so much easier to find just that single dot if it's moving like that, instead of trying to line up multiple things. So overall, I think this little RD-U2 is a pretty solid unit. It is really well built. The glass is actually very clear on it. The Shake Awake has worked every single time that I've used it over the last 3 weeks or so. I just leave it sit and I'll walk by, make sure it's off, pick it up, it comes on. Again, it shuts off after about 2 minutes or so. The 3 MOA dot is a decent size. I don't like anything that's below 3, like a 2 or a 1. It's just hard for my eyes to pick up. I prefer a 3, 4, 5. I like that it has that top load battery. And again, if you use slightly smaller screws, you'll never have to remove that to change out that battery. I like that the elevation and windage adjustments are audible and palpable. I do not like the ones that just like free spin. This here, like you can know that you're actually making adjustments. Just a couple little negatives. First thing, like I mentioned earlier, is that you cannot co-witness with your factory sights. It's just a touch too high, at least with this particular gun. I'm not sure others may work if you have taller sights. It is so close, like you can see the front dot right there. And then obviously there's the rear sight, but you still cannot see them. And this is not really a negative, but you just get one reticle. It's just that dot, obviously. You don't get a circle dot, crosshairs, anything like that, just the dot. And on that same note, at this time, I think it's only available in red. I personally prefer green. It's just easier for my eyes to pick up a green color, but it's only available in red. I always like to go over warranty information if I know it. That way you guys know in advance before you purchase something. They have a limited lifetime warranty and basically just says at their discretion, they will replace or repair anything that gets damaged or broken under normal use. So you can pause and read that if you want. So at the time of me recording this, these are coming in just under $90. And keep in mind that price also includes the Picatinny adapter, so you can put this on a rifle or on a pistol with a Picatinny rail. And these are like $15 or so if you had to buy it separately. So this is obviously the first red dot that I've ever had from ohhunt. What I can tell you guys is I put 50 rounds through it at the range that day. I didn't have any issues whatsoever. There was no flickering. The dot stayed on the entire time. It was easy to sight in. Once I got it sighted in, it held zero. It did everything it's supposed to do. So if you are interested in finding out more information about it or picking one up, I will leave an Amazon link down in the video description. If you guys found the video helpful or informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.